to get through the announcements. Thank you all for being here. You are what makes the Nevada County Poetry Series happen. For having us tonight's season, thank you. Thanks to the Center for the Arts, over here. John Blinder, Paul Emery, Peter Wilson, board members, staff, and volunteers for keeping us going, and art in the community. We're all blessed to have this space. So please support the Center for the Arts any way you can. Volunteer, money, anything you can do for them, you can, because this is a great event that happened. And I don't know if you have really followed the history of the Center for the Arts, but it was real shaky at the very beginning. There was a lot of problems that they had, but they've got it together, and so now please support them any way you can. Ideas, information, check out the front desk over there, pick up information, sign up for their mailing list, and also, you know, donation list. Both those things together.
Isn't it over there?
No. Right over here is the street. This is south, north. Well, we're not exactly aligned, but that's kind of east over there.
The building's there?
North.
No, we're facing
East, north, south, west. Right there.
Oh, man, I got
So we want to also thank poets and writers for the generous funding for the poets, and those of you who contributed the entrance fee. That also helped us out, and also any contributions in the jar back there for anything. If you know, it's a low cost.
Where's the drinks?
The drinks. We're getting to that.
Ask Todd.
Please, if you haven't paid, pay Bill back there, because as I said, it does support all the poets that read for us. It's vital we have that, and also for sending out your flyers. Which another thing, if you aren't on the flyers list, you're not getting flyers in the mail. Sign up back here on the mailing list and get on that so you know who's going to be next. Okay, we want to. So please pay Bill if you haven't paid. It's good to give. You know, it's good to give. You always get more back than what you give. That's just the way the law of karma is. It's true. We also want to thank the Antrican Foundation for grants to help us in the cost and put the poets in print of our anthologies. We have a very few left back there, so don't be left out. And they're going to be gone soon, so grab one. If you don't have one, you need one. They're great gifts, too. Great gifts. You know, Mother's Day's passed, but Father's Day's coming up. So there you go. We also want to thank Karen and Allison at the bookseller in downtown Grass Valley. Please support your local independent bookstores, new and used. You need them as much as they need you. Small businesses.
Isn't Booktown around the corner over here?
Yeah.
Small businesses are the heart and soul of community. Don't extinct them. Booktown. Is there anybody here? No, we're Booktown.
Isn't that where 6 Foot Swells did their release?
That was the Jason's Coffee Shop.
Right in front of Booktown.
Right.
You don't know where Booktown is?
Booktown.
Ask them. Also, in fact, we have two of them. Are you in Booktown, Ed?
I'm in Tomes, the old Tomes.
Tomes, okay. And Ed's a book dealer here. John's a book dealer. I don't know if we have any other book dealers here in the audience, but please support them because they do need your help.
Yes, badly.
Yeah, they do. I mean, you know, that's why they're over there. Basically, that's why they're over there, because they need to pull together the resources. So help them out. It's much better.
See us afterwards to buy a book.
Yeah, there you go.
I think 6 Foot Swells books are available here too.
That's true. We also have the anthologies, the NCPS anthologies over there as well, copies of those. And also individual writers who are in here, everybody's in there. Okay, so you don't want to extinct them because we need them. Okay. Also, oh, here it is again, Booktown Books. We want to thank you again, Booktown Books! On Bank Street, Grass Valley. Okay.
Across from the new hotel.
There we are, across from it. There we go. And it's on the corner there, right across from where Caroline's coffee shop was, or is it still there?
It is.
It is still there, okay. And we have maps back there. If you want a map, we're working on a map, okay?
Walking tour today.
Yeah, and we'll go over there. Yeah, right. We'll party after the thing. John's going to let us in. We're going to party with John over there. Okay. Great. Pam Young at the Union News for coverage of our readings. The Auburn Journal and Kel Munger of the Sacramento News and Review. Thanks to, yes, Adele Taylor.
Yes.
Continues. Restrooms, there's one restroom right there.
Oh, God. Gone through this before.
Also, but we have to go through this because it's vitally important information. Right there, and also you go out the back here, go down the stairs, and what the first one would be to your left as you go down the stairs right this way, and then you can go up the front here, and there's also another one in the room that's on the left-hand side, which would be the southeast corner of the building. Refreshments, cookies, soda, water are free, so help yourself to those. They're free, but if you can put a donation in there, it helps pay for the cost. Please sign up for our mailing list, which should be right back here for our next readings. And on June 21st, Thursday at 7:30 p.m., we will have Terry Moore from Sacramento. I don't know if you know who Terry Moore is, but he's really quite a sensation. He's just toured everywhere in America. He's opened shows for some of the Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Maya
Angelou. There's certainly also done openings for big star performers up at the MGM in Reno, in Las Vegas. He's been all over the place. And he's really good. He memorizes most of his poems, and he wasn't really a what you would call a rap or a slam poet, but he kind of transformed that whole idea of slam. He's kind of a pioneer in it. He kind of transformed slam into a real positive direction. And he's really a phenomenon to listen to, so please come and hear that. And also we have Theresa Mccourt, who was in one of our anthologies, and she's an Australian. And she's really getting a lot of attention right now, too. She's a very fine writer as well. So I think you're going to really be thrilled to listen to them when they come here next month. So please come and visit us on that June 21st, Terry Moore and Theresa Mccourt. So sign up for our mailing list, get a flyer. Bring poems to read. Always bring poems to read, because we have the open mic afterwards. Okay, so as I said, there's no better gift than poetry. So pick up those anthologies back there. Okay.
I think there's a couple over at Town.
Okay, so we got through the announcements.
One more.
Poets and writers.
Can we do one more announcement?
Sure.
This is, Saturday is the Gold Rush Book Fair, annual book fair. It's at Grass Valley Fairgrounds, and Booktown is participating.
Good.
And if you come into Booktown and mention John Fletcher's name, they'll give you a free pass. We have some free passes there, don't we?
Yeah.
So we'll tell them tomorrow, just say, John Fletcher, and they'll give you a free pass to go to the Gold Rush Book Fair. It's on Saturday from 10 to 5, I think.
Over at Booktown.
And Chris, you should talk about the Sunday event.
Yeah.
Booktown, mention John Fletcher at Booktown over there in Booktown Books.
They'll give you a free pass.
And that's at the fairground this year?
Yeah.
A $25 value.
Okay, so
No, I think it's only a $5.
Okay, you noted it up for you.
yeah, if you're really, if you find out you're sitting around doing nothing on Sunday, this Sunday coming up, you can all carpool or just drive up yourself up to Allegheny, because we're going to be doing a big literary fair up in Allegheny. Myself, Bill, Todd, Utah Phillips, and some other people are going to be. Will's going to be there also. We're all going up there and we're going to do a reading, and so if you have nothing to do, go up to Allegheny. I don't know how to tell you how to get there. You
5 miles past North San Juan.
There you go.
Watch for the sign, turn.
There you go.
End
Okay.
of the road, the very end.
Oh yeah, also if you're in Yosemite on June 1st, I'm going to be giving a reading at LeConte Center in downtown Yosemite if you're there on June 1st, Friday night. Check out LeConte Center. It's downtown Yosemite, the big valley. It's on the way going all the way up to the
Downtown, there's nothing around LeConte Center.
That whole place is downtown Yosemite.
I see, yeah, that is downtown.
There you go. And you won't believe what they're doing to it. So it's really wise that you go there and just check it out. You don't have to come listen to me.
Is it good or bad what they're doing?
I
Okay,
don't
and our
think it's
featured
good.
readers tonight, huh?
We're getting to that. Thanks to Bill. The Nevada County Poetry Series, Thursday, May 17th, presents 2 readers from our area. The first one is Tiffany Seagrave. And I'm not really familiar with the readers tonight, their work and that, so
They're all wonderful.
I'm sure they are. That's why they're here. You can't be here unless you're wonderful. But in the past, we've had high school students before read. I think the youngest was, actually I've had an 8th grader read one time, Zolly Bassoff, and he did an incredible job. And the young students who are coming up now are just incredible with all the information, all the things they've got to go through. They have so many experiences. It's really nice to have them come out and do readings for us. We had Sydney Stouts, Katie Coral, Zolly Bassoff, and also Cameron McHenry. And tonight we have Tiffany Seagrave.
Okay, can you tell me when I don't have any time left?
Yeah.
You need to speak up a little bit now.
Okay. Is that good?
That's good.
All right, cool. Hi, I'm Tiffany. And I'm going to read, this poem first. And it's called Cancer. And it's kind of an angry poem, but I'm not angry. It's angry though. All right. Okay. I don't need that. Delicately dipping a toe into twin, tainted, tragic states, the ripple effect took place. He stood tall as a tree, rigid as a tower. His power leaked from the peaks and plundered down her creeks, her cracks. Jam-packed in her eyes, tears rested until they no longer would wait. She wept, she wept. He kept on staring, on glaring, on tearing her heart out, her mind about to burn. He turned his topple effect to the pond beyond her thoughts, her soul, pouring poison in the bowl. The nourishment for her body transformed into punishment for her senses. Her senses burst into the worst form of fate, but it was simply too late. He could no longer perpetrate a malicious master. She saw him for what he was, cancer. It ended kind of happy. This one's very uplifting. Okay, it really is. I don't know, I like the angry ones better. Okay, it's called Wings. Okay. Hesitant hands entwine with heartbreak, forsaking fascination, future elation seen as mere contemplation. Clear glows of fear smear across her face as a trace of soul shows and rolls through tears. A missed kiss broke her spine, crime committed by her dim-witted self. Fear feathers through her body when faced with tastes of love that captivates. Through her body feathered, followed her fantasies, fantasies of feathers, feathers on wings. Wings that carefully carry all cruel cares away, sway in the wind and find their fate deep within the ocean, seeping away. Her heart quivers as a sliver of life revives, sends shivers up her neck, sliding through the breeze, gliding across seas. Forgotten yet wanton freedom flees away from her harnessed heart, escapes, and takes with it an intricate roll of delicate desires. Struggling to let loose, fly brilliantly on the breeze. Cold glows of sunrise fish for warmth while she twists in a wistful manner. Salty sensations attract the recreation of compassion, while a retraction of restraint maintains momentum. Disorder dissolves as the wind resolves despair. The pair of wings lift in swift waves, craving the saving strike of skin to water. Her feet decline in small time. Sharp saturation stains her toes. A sober song sings to her ears as clear templates take her mind to find faith. Blows of the draft domino her fluid figure to mold with attractions and reactions of each gust. Trust set on wings, soul soothed by ocean seen. The cowardice characteristics that laced her dispositions project, disconnect. Recollecting herself, she connects with the mission of ammunition against inhibition. Her flight untangles her fright. Fight for expression exits her extensions of purpose. Power of the sea breeze brings power to her wings and ease to her concern. The reoccurring dream of a water-covered floor and weightless feet revives her broken spine and offers hope for a future time.
It's getting a little warm.
Yes.
Can we open a window?
No,
We can
can't.
turn that on. I can
Okay, it's
talk
a little-
loud.
It's a little noisy.
It's okay.
Forgive us
My
on
voice
that.
carries.
Your voice is great.
Do our ordinary.
Yeah.
We could open a couple of sides.
We can't get it, they're painted shut right now, John.
Well, I'm a punk, I can break one of those.
No. Tiffany,
Yeah.
please go.
Okay.
You're talking about, honey.
I'm gonna be loud for you guys.
You're good. You're doing excellent.
All right. This one I wrote for my creative writing class to capture one moment, and I chose a love moment because I'm a teenage girl. That goes smoothly for me. All right. Do not disturb does not apply when he smiles. The look in her eyes shifts with the lift of the air, her emotions laid bare. On her face, thin traces of red embed themselves within her cheeks. His eyes observe as her wall weakens. The creek's end, cherry lips rise above an indented chin, smoothly rising in time with his hands tracing her fingers. Finally entwined, each extension of their intentions enters her heart through his touch. 10 touches, 5 for each hand, softly trace her wrist. Tickles travel in a subtle manner. He scans her reaction, waiting for the impact of small insinuations, inconspicuous inclinations, intending to inform her of his feelings. Flavored wind brushes his face, winter's memorable taste tainting the new spring day. The chill of the air tightens his grip. Fate plays with the grays, painting over them with trays of fiery wind, infringing on the solitude of shyness, implying action, indicating important moments, dictating decisions. Drenched in destiny's assurance, he assures himself, hiding behind comfort will unsort the situation. The small creation of emotion, timidly taking its time to reveal itself. The stealth of her thoughts is slightly wiped away as fate's sway blows his pheromones her way. His simple smell seduces relaxation into her shoulders. Secretly, she senses the ease in her spine, entwined with the ease of her mind. His kind eyes reflect a section of her heart saved for him. Her stomach spins in a nervous fit as she realizes his hold on her affection. She hears him laugh, charming and effortless, effective in affecting her disposition. Green grass enveloping their blanket reflects the shade of his eyes. Surprising senses send her feet racing, revealing her nervous tendency. Her foot parts the grass. Soft scratches whisper to her ankles, a warning to stop fidgeting. With effort, she calms herself, handing her nerves to time, handing herself to him. He releases his grip on her fingers and finds her face. With suspense suspending her breath, she closes her eyes. He watches her lashes lower and lowers his face until his lips glide across hers, two souls discovering the meaning of falling in love. Okay, so a lot of my poems revolve around love, and so I'm going to do one more love poem before I do a non-love poem, just so I can break up the love poems. This one's shorter though. So, your breath glides across my skin, steam repelling, emotions excelling, rebelling against muffled feeling. This healing releases raw affection, shattered souls taped together. One moment teasing torment to the deceitful devils of disconnection. This perfection holds two smiles, shy and subtle. No lies would pry the sensation from the recreation. Each menacing move, faltering footstep, brings you closer, offering obstacles we'd love to overcome. Chemistry causes us to run, not away, together. Static magnets, fractioning friction, I feel rich in this moment. History records no equivalent to two hands tickling. Tangled fingers, radiating passion, rising above. It may not be permanent, but right now this is love. Okay, this one's not a love poem. It's a teenage poem though. Okay. It's called Shared Isolation. I really like the title, so I should like it too. Okay. My high horse of isolation sees all. It sees sensitive sound vibrations relentlessly rotating, round masses mutating, conforming, molding to the shape of friends' footprints, peers' prices on life. From my horse I see illuminate, laminated skin breaking, fingers shaking, eyes racing, heart quaking. You are faking your puzzle fit. I read your lit eyes, the glassy wall, the grassy circles leading into black holes. They scream in silence, with no license to drive you crazy. Crazy to conform. I watch from my horse. I've named it isolation. It's good at racing others' motives. It always wins. Once you watch my horse take off, you'll wish you had a horse named Isolation as well. But for now, you are stuck on the ground of ignorance, watching my horse prance. But no, you are not ignorant. Your rants reveal soaking pants dipped into deep ponds. Passively, you are pulled down, but you still glow, and this you know. It shows with the gleam in your eyes. The seam of your pants jump with your almighty strut. Of course you stick out. No doubts persuade me or my horse against that. But the facts still stand strong. The strong aren't different, just strong. The wrong aren't different, just wrong. And with your glow, it would seem obvious. Only the oblivious would think you the same. So from my horse, I say this with some pain, but no shame. Your glow does make you different, even while you are still the same. You and I will share the horse's name. Okay, this one is called Wonder, and it's another one I had to do for my creative writing class, and we were supposed to capture an emotion. I'm not sure if wonder is a very good emotion to try and capture, but I tried, and it kind of turned into a love poem. I don't know. It's easy to write about. Okay. It would seem that my dreams have drifted, delicately driving my mind more so to go toward a puzzled place. Quick questions lace themselves between my fingers, with your fingers. Phatic fidgeting of my mouth forms words that would mean more if I spoke the truth. Tender thoughts take time to tickle my fickle state of being. My chin lifts with a shift in the air, the answer to my question laid bare. Still, blindness hides the kindness of fate. I wonder, is it too late? The state of this dream stands still with the stream of emotions hidden under my sleeve. The wonder won't cease. The sensitivity of my curiosity sinks in with a subtle pursing of my lips. To switch the subject would only eject my sanity. Complete calamity would run with me if I let this be. The wonder wishes freedom, to be released, and as I crease my sleeve to cover my thoughts, I steal a momentary sweet satisfaction to the question previously mentioned. For fate has frightfully tangled ways of showing signs that walk in whispers, and wish to transfer to ears. Someday soon my ears will yield the answer, and the tangled fate will unravel and fall in between the state of our tangled fingers. How much time do I have left?
10 minutes.
Okie dokie. I can do that. So either I can read some more love poems,
Yes.
or I could read a short story that I did in poetic format. So it's a poem, but it's a long, long, long poem.
Oh, let's have some love.
Read love.
Love? Okay.
Love.
Love. We need love.
We can hardly remember our teenage love.
Oh, good. Okay. This
Bring it
one?
back. I'm trying to
Okay.
remember
Be
it.
careful, your
All right.
dad's over here now.
Hi, Dad. Hi. I was just thinking about what other people thought. You wrote those. So this one.
They have Richard education, so it's just me.
Okay.
That's dead over there.
Yeah, that's my dad. This one's about love. I don't know. I've never felt like this before, but I was imagining. Okay.
Yeah, it happened to a friend of yours. Yeah.
It did. Hypothetical. Yeah.
It was a friend of a friend.
I heard it. It was on the Disney Channel. Okay. Our eyes link and lock, leading lips to speak. Drapes drift over senses, with hearts sensing inevitable sensations. A relation forms, as the moon warms. The morning is for warning and introduction to reality. The productions of your smile produces a file to my chains. Unexpected rain kisses our cheeks as I wish to kiss you. The time to come can call an end to insanity. It can be. I believe it can be. Constellations contain carefully written words, molding minor daydreams. The seams of the straitjacket of hidden emotions are ripping, dripping with suspense, at the expense of our hearts. My heart screams that it's permanently broken, stammers over an invisible hammer, hoping to mend the imagined cracks. Its crevices dream to dream of you. I do dream of you. I choose to. Your choice is what now remains. Drain the emotions or kiss me and stay. Our love child. This means peace, so I'll cover it up for this poem. Okay. It's called Cold Extensions of Affection. It's a happy title. Okay. Avoid, deny. Avoid any attraction to intricate individuals, like pills, addicting, conflicting with my isolation, chronic rotation around worrisome waves of emotion, smeared across hearts like lotion, liquid soothing erosion invades my fortress in an explosion, not external, internal implosion. The corrosion contradicting personal points of view, the few of which my mind is made up rock solid on, refrain from falling on other shoulders to cry on. You can keep prying on my chains, filing my fangs. I advise you to switch lanes. Take the exit. I don't fit in with happiness. No soft caress will suppress my need to avoid, deny. Avoid any connection that could die, and the recollection of which would cause this delicate mind to cry. With the breaking connection comes the breaking of my heart. My heart is a part of me in which I've grown fond in covering and hovering over its cage, surreptitiously guarding against anyone intending on maliciously stealing, borrowing, accepting, or perfecting my cruel intentions, cold extensions of affection, false representations to cause mutual elation. I have safety in my avoidance. No hands will hold the key to my willingness to rest in his arms. Strong arms, you have no right to bear arms. I adamantly avoid. I am driven to deny. So far I've seen success. So far I have not cried.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. That was great. Also, I want to mention that Tiffany just did her senior project today, and that was fun part of it. So, you want to say something about it?
No.
Gail Hendricken was one of her judges.
Yeah.
So anyway, she passed with flying colors, and that's great. Yeah, so thank you very much for doing that, and also for being here, for reading your poems to us. That was really good.
Thank you for clapping.
Yeah, I think, listening, I've been working with the California Post in the schools for a long time, and I think that's really what keeps me going, is being able to interact with the next generation coming up. And it's amazing what they will do for you as well as what you can do for them. I always learn much more than what I can teach students, but it's just really nice because it really gives you a lot of hope about, yeah, they do have a lot of answers, and they do know where they're going. They have a lot of very strong feelings about what needs to be done in the world to make it a better place to live. So I'm really glad we had high school students come in here, and especially Tiffany. So thank you. Okay, our next reader is John Fletcher, who is in Booktown, if you know. After reading his biography, it really surprised me. I don't really know John a lot, but whenever I put up posters, I go to his shop. It was in Nevada City. I said, oh yeah, let me have that poster. He'd put it right up there immediately. Most of the people, they'd look at it, say, oh yeah, okay, well, we'll put it up sometime, throw it. John was really adamant about getting it up there. And reading his biography, I see he's probably done, I probably know him as well as what I know myself, because almost all the things that he has on his biography here basically is what I did at the same time, I think. But it's really nice to have him here and have him read. So here's John Fletcher.
I just spent the last weekend 3 days with my wife at UC Davis at the campus down there in the quad for the Whole Earth Festival. And I have to say, I have not been so impressed or so hopeful in a long time as seeing young people doing positive things. And Tiffany is an absolute example of that. So my hat's off, and I think that at least our part of the world is in good hands. You will notice that my poems tend to be somewhat shorter.
Are they about love?
Hey, love.
There's some about love. There's some about rage. There's a lot about politics and some about religion. And I generally don't write rhyming verse, but I'm starting with a very short piece that'll sort of flow into something else, into the little religion segment. And it's called Jesus Said. "Forgive them, Father," Jesus said, "for they know not what they do." But it seems to me, after all these years, they still don't have a clue.
So true.
Eternity. Eternity is the empty space between the words of a prayer. This.
Hey John, would you mind speaking up a little bit?
A little bit.
Oh, hey,
I'm deaf in my left ear and I'm having a little trouble.
all that rock in the 60s. Yes. Okay. I wrote this poem 1992, 91 actually, visiting a mosque, Dar al-Islam, in Abiquiu, New Mexico. And this beautiful, beautiful mosque. And watching the men go into one area to pray and the women to go into another area to pray. And their prayers, I thought, were trapped. So I thought, I pray my prayer out of doors. No church or mosque can find my words, that are, after all, no words at all, but rather syllables of love spoken by my heart. This is how I feel about institutional religion. Called the church. The bread has gone stale, and the wine soured. The incense is but smoke. Old men still offer blood and body, but their blood now runs cold, and their bodies decay under soiled robes. Now only the building that houses the sacrament inspires awe, for the sacred has departed. For the goddess crowd, called To Find the Goddess. If you wish to find the goddess, look deep into the darkness of the night. There, in the deepest part of space, where the moderns would say the Big Bang took place, there she will be resting in her bed. It was, after all, a very difficult delivery. Okay, a love poem. Lying next to you, feeling your heartbeat, listening to you breathe, I too am listening to my own breath, feeling my own heartbeat.
So you have a sensitive side.
I do. Here's another one. It's called Love is Like a River. Love is a river that runs through and between lovers. There are wide chasms, deep gorges, and narrows, where bridges are made, suspended between two hearts, anchored and steadied by footings resting deeply in each soul's secret place, where the strongest storm will not budge this union. Any of you who know me know that I am a professed anarchist. I've been that way since I've 4 years working for a corporation, and no, couldn't do that again. Been self-employed so long that nobody else would want to employ me.
And booked out.
I used to be a gardener too. I've done a few things in my life. Worked in a winery. Okay. Yeah, of course, you know the difference between a wino and a connoisseur, don't you?
No.
Yeah, the connoisseur takes it out of the bag. This is called labor. A little more my political side. If work is merely for wage, it is slavery. If our time is not our own, we are vassals. If there is no other reason for rising each day but to labor, we are but beasts. Freedom is my reason for living, joy my heart's desire, hope is what my soul rests upon. I sell my labor to no one. To do so is to sell my very soul. This is called excess. We can back into the religious thing and political. There is a place where the money changers are welcomed in the temple. No longer confined to the courtyard, they now sell their goods at the altar, preaching wealth, asserting that there is no greater sin than poverty. They sing a litany of consumption and investment with attractive terms available. They mock the old God who sits in gloom, regretting his creation. And the missionaries are sent forth to proclaim the new word of their new God, whose name is excess. Advice to the young. Don't grow old in your youth. Old age is a state of mind, as well as a physical reality. It can happen at any time in life. Avoid it. Boys chase girls or other boys. Girls chase boys or other girls, according to their preferences. It will keep you away from evil and violence. Don't pay mind to ministers or politicians. They lie. Avoid church. It will forever keep you separated from the divine. Always remember, your true career is living. It is only work that will give you lasting satisfaction. Resist all those things that your soul refutes. Follow only your path. All others lead to hell.
Manifesto, Freedom Manifesto.
Spring. Risen in new life, the green Savior gathers her disciples. With death overcome, the risen one spreads life over a slumbering world. This is just a little, I don't know, I was just playing with words one night, and this just came out, and I just thought, I guess I was reading about the English trying to ban fox hunting. And I like foxes. I think they're cool little critters. They eat cats, but it's called the fox. In a thicket of wild roses, the fox rests from the chase and watches from a place of fragrant safety his pursuer's confusion. So the time I was probably 3 years old, I had a morbid fear of spiders. I couldn't be in the room with a spider. I mean, it was just literally, I would have my mother kill spiders. At one point I had my sister-in-law kill a spider. It was awful. I decided at one point in my life that I wanted to be have a gardening business. And I thought, you're going to work with spiders. You have to overcome this. So by a great force of will and reading as much as I could about the little critters, I really came to love them. I am now regarded as something of a fanatic and a kook. I'm one of the few people who will actually catch and release black widows and take them outside and go wish them well in a safer place where they won't bite me or my dogs. So, this is called The Spider. It was actually for the class I was taking with Molly Fisk, another one of Nevada County's really fine poets. The Spider. Little weaver, casters of silken nets, to some you are the creatrix of the world, others fear you, kill you on sight. Little spinner whose orbed creations trap the morning dew that sparkles, diamonds of dancing sunlight. Little hunter, you seek your prey in grassy solitude, hoping, as do all of the mother's creatures, for another moment of being, to spin and weave and pass the magic of life to yet another generation, and perhaps secure a kind of immortality. This one's untitled, but the forest god and his goddess, his one true love, gave life and many happy children, who in turn gave life to others through countless generations, and the forest rang with their joy until that day when the missionaries of the sky god came, self-righteous men, armed and dangerous. They slayed the forest god and defiled and defamed the goddess, enslaved the children in chains of iron, and laid claim and waste to sacred Eden. The rest is history, written in blood, in a book that has no soul. A couple of father poems. Fathers. Father in heaven, father on earth. Mean, grumpy, full of rules. Meant not so much for the welfare of the children as for the convenience of the father, who always seems bothered by the idea of his children's real joy.
That's because they're up to something.
This is this one's called My Father's Rage. My father was a World War II veteran. Fought with Patton's Third Army and came back with horrible nightmares, and sometimes it was very difficult to deal with, especially when he drank. And
Mine too.
yeah, it's called My Father's Rage. The stillness of night broken by angry voices, threats, and a woman's weeping. Feigned sleep my only defense against the darkness of my father's soul that filled the house with black water and drained slowly through the narrow cracks in my bedroom floor. Here comes the anarchist again.
Uh-oh.
Capitalism. The great machine that runs our lives is powered by the energy given up or stolen from our very souls, then sold back to us as shabby goods at a hefty profit, and we gleefully pay, saying to one another, "What a deal! What a deal we've made! What a deal!" Play. Fathers and sons are never reconciled in a land where work comes first, play is scorned, viewed as childish, of no worth. So men forget games played by fathers and their sons, replaced by sports, games played by men, whose fathers never played with them, icons of the game, latter-day gladiators who fill the television, that distract men, but a poor substitute for fathers and sons at play. Keepers of the furnace. Broken bodies, kindling for the furnace, babies torn from their mother's arms, men and boys separated from their souls, all fuel for the furnace. Men of God preach peace and love, but in the very next breath scream for holy war. They are the keepers of the furnace, as guilty, or more so, as the generals and the weaponeers who provide the hardware, the cleric keep the flame of hate alive. This is called View from Little Round Top. I don't know how much you remember of your Civil War history, but there was, in Gettysburg, there's Little Round Top. It's not too far from where Pickett made his great charge up the hill into horrible Union fire. Of, I think, 5,000 men, only 2 made it unscathed. One was a drummer boy who the Union soldiers didn't have the heart to shoot, and the other was just a lucky infantryman who Union infantryman actually reached out, grabbed him by the arm, and pulled him into Union lines so he could tell his children that he had made it up the hill. But when you stand, I was 10 years old when I went to Gettysburg, and the battlefield, you look out over acres and acres of these little white markers. All they have on them is a number. No one knows the names of a lot of these soldiers, just numbers. The blood of young men spent in fields of flowers. They gathered up young lives and held them in their roots for generations to this day. But these lives would be spent better, wiser, embracing girls, dreamed of on drill or picket, the lone now the embracer of the eternal young, remembered today only as numbers carved in small square stones. This is a poem that I wrote, and it is dedicated to my friends John and Chris, called The Lovers. 2 souls, a world apart, yet together, as if welded one to another. 2 hearts, each at opposite ends of the earth, beating as one. There is no space between, only distance, that is bridged by love that is eternal. Here's a prose piece. I don't know if anyone here knows it. I think a few of you do. But I'm a broadcaster on a community radio station, KVMR, and I had the opportunity once to talk to some folks from the group Move, and they were very active in trying to free Mumia Abu-Jamal. As a matter of fact, 8 of their own people are imprisoned for a murder that they could not have possibly committed, but that's another story. And this is called Political Prisoners. When most Americans think of political prisoners, several images come to their minds. The first being the half-starved, frozen, frost-bitten zeks of Stalin's Gulag system. Next are the faceless, nameless wretches and the southern dictators like Chile's Pinochet, or the racist compounds in South Africa that held Nelson Mandela. These are truly places of horror, repression, and torture, and will forever have their place in infamy. Americans, for the most part, however, have a convenient case of political myopia, where our own history is concerned. From the latter part of the 19th century until the present, America has a shameless record of political repression. There are manifold examples. Here are but a few. The execution of 4 members of the Haymarket 8, the numerous jailings of Margaret Sanger for advocating birth control, the imprisonment of Emma Goldman and Alec Berkman for speeches against American involvement in World War I, and the imprisonment of Eugene B. Debs for asking young men to resist service in that same war, and the rigged trial of the Italian immigrant anarchists Sacco and Vanzetti. In more modern times, things have become no better. Leonard Peltier remains incarcerated for more than a quarter of a century on a conviction that many say was accomplished by rigging or manufacturing evidence and intimidating witnesses. Mumia Abu-Jamal still lingers on death row in Pennsylvania, even though his death sentence has been overturned nearly 2 years ago. Move 9, still in prison after 27 years. It has taken 22 years for their appeal to make it to the federal courts. A non-political case takes an average of 5 years. I have not included in my polemic the wholesale roundup of Japanese Americans during World War II, or the theft of land and the attempted genocide of indigenous Americans that continue to this day. And let us not forget the POWs that our government is holding in cages in Guantanamo Bay in violation of international law. American prisons are filled with men and women who do not belong there. From the nonviolent drug users to the mentally ill. It is said that 1/3 to 1/2 of America's prison population could be dealt with in a more humane and cost-effective way. Lobbying by private prison corporations and prison guards union has so far swayed legislatures and hence made drug abusers and mentally ill de facto political prisoners. It is up to every person of good conscience to ask themselves if this is the kind of country we want to live in, and to pass to our children and grandchildren. I know that what my answer is, and I use my voice for those whose voices have been rendered voiceless. One more poem. This is my rant. Just say no. Just say no. That bony, grinning skull named Nancy told us. Just say no to drugs. Just say no to booze. Just say no to sex. Well, I say, how about saying no to shopping at the mall? Or just about no to killing trees and plants and animals. No to capitalism and communism. Say no to corporate greed and no to poverty. No to bad tripping. No through the concrete mazes of our run-down, run-out cities. Just say no to security cameras with a direct line to Big Brother's palatial penthouse. Say no to a president who can't find the bathroom, but led a nation into a anger, into an unnecessary and an illegal war. Say no to indignity, cruelty, brutality, and degradation. Just say no to rainforest rape, to river damming, to building highways leading to a place called hopelessness. Just say no to bombs and bombers. Just say no to cock-shaped world destroyers, to tear gas and nerve gas and bioweapons. Just say no to George and Roberto, that liar. Just say no to bad bourbon, bad breath, and bad news. Say no to big fat no to Jerry Falwell. May his soul rest in forever. Swaggart and Robertson, and the rest of the fundamentally flawed, who keep God in a box behind the electronic altar and dust him off on Sunday service or a praise-a-thon. Say no, nay, yet to the street named for Madison, whose gray flannel, Gucci-clad hucksters mislead, misdirect, and lie to deceive us, selling the earth-destroying garbage that no one needs or wants. Say no to the military-industrial complex and its techno-wet dream. Say no to Megacorp International and such that want to own the planet and all the trees, minerals, oil, water, and living souls on her. No, no, no. Just say no to the direction charted for us when our ship of state was launched with the most of our ancestors traveling steerage. Just say no to strip mines, deep mines, land mines, and smokestacks. Smog, black lung, brown lung, and substandard health care. And say no to the most destructive, addictive drug of all. Say no to television and the never blinking eye that makes us numb and dumb to our souls and puts us in a hazy trance of consuming madness. Just say no to all that, and maybe we can have time to have a party and say, did anybody bring some papers?
So great, yeah, that was a real pleasant surprise for me. because I haven't heard either one of you read before, so that was really great. You guys did really well. Maybe you guys are go on tour or something, you know? That was great. Yeah. Thank you very much. Tiffany Seagraves and John Fletcher, thank you very much. Everybody ready?
Ready?
Great. You got it, Adele? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Okay, so here we are. We're in the open mic section. This is probably your first and last chance to ever read in this room. But who knows? We might be back. Okay, first reader is Ed Buren.
Thank you. I accept your invitation to read in this room. Okay, for Christmas or over New Year's, I went to Baja to camp in some remote spot, and there was a mountain there called Pico de Cordon, which means Cactus Mountain, which I climbed several times because everybody else was surfing, and so it's called On Cactus Mountain. From the top of Cactus Mountain, the blue suede ocean shimmers like white devil fire from heaven, while behind me endlessly march thousands of dry rounded hills, millions of dry cactus shrubs, billions of of scorched stones, no sound except for gusting winds, and even the distant surf is silent. No clouds punctuate this flat blueness, no birds, no animals, no airplanes. Everywhere empty, stark, and sere, this primeval and naked Baja perfectly exists for no reason. And just one other poem here. I went to Boulder not long ago, a few weeks ago, and the Boulder is where it's like sort of the Buddhist headquarters of America, and the center, the Shambhala Center for Buddhism is there, which I visited. And I also went to visit, they have a stupa there, which is an amazing oriental temple that's built in the Rockies. So this is a remembrance at the stupa. In the Colorado Rockies, the Stupa of Shambhala stands tall, 108-foot icon of conscious otherness. Or maybe just a psychedelic spaceship poised for ecstatic ascent to the four unlimited minds, where we can ooh and ah at the naked splendor of hot shit bodhisattvic meditative mantra power glimmering and oozing in its LSD daylight dream. Here Trungpa sat in his dumpy little trailer and imagined this gaudy, giddy masterpiece from no mind into being, into timelessness, multi-shimmering, unbelievable, unthing, stupendous, stereoptic Eastern sphinxter that purifies my dingleberries with delight, stings my four eyes and brains with delight. I hike the snow-creased trail to Marpa Point to look down upon the stupa's gilded glens, climb the last stand of rocks to the summit with its mini Buddha Rupa and prayer flags fluttering in this windy zone of human ashes being scattered in the manner of sacred matter, burned bodies returning to earth through air. I kneel, I pray, I cry, I expand into the moment to snatch a brief glimpse of adamantine space. I cite the names of all my dear departed dead, daughter, brother, mother, father, friends. Their names go out upon the wind. Their souls roam around me and within my heart and mind. Blessed be, blessings on thee, my own beloveds. Soon enough I shall join these